Go ahead. Do your worst.
Go on, Bet. Let's see if she can handle it.
Here, start for real this time.
Submitted for the Midnight Society's approval, I call this tale Infidel Number 1. This is a story first put into words by Pornsak Pichetcho, with imagery done by Aaron Campbell. Our story starts with a lady laying in bed, being awoken by the smell of rotting meat. A fly lands on her shoulder, and she starts to cringe. She can slowly feel little things move up her side as she's laying. They feel like fingers. And she starts to get worried. Could this be somebody behind her back? Who knows? Let's move on. It is. It's a monster. And it's right in her face. She's freaking out. And she starts to try to get up out of bed, but she falls. The monster's coming after her like crazy. The glass crashes to the ground. And here we see the monster just giving her the evil eye as she passes out. Oh, it was just a dream. She wakes up, and I guess she's been having these dreams for a long time now. And every one just starts to get worse and worse and worse. And she doesn't know why she's having these dreams, but it doesn't take a genius to find out. There must be something going on in her past. And she knows it was just a dream, but as she looks over on the side of the bed, the empty glass is busted. How did that get there? Maybe we'll find out. Our story moves on to the daytime, much happier times, on the top floor of an apartment building where a grandma, our main character that we just seen being attacked by the monster, and a small child are baking cakes. Aisha, the main character, Leslie, the grandma, and Chris, the child, are discussing Star Wars, particularly who would win against Boba Fett and Luke Skywalker. Aisha demands that Luke Skywalker would win, but Chris must love Boba Fett because she thinks it's not going to happen. And so the grandma's making a cake for Chris for some kind of bake sale or something, and the cake is a Sarlacc pit. Check this thing out. It looks very cool, crazy cool. It's the Sarlacc pit bundt cake. Chris is so amazed at this that he gives his grandma a huge hug and runs off saying that he's going to take a picture. Aisha must be a nerd because she doesn't know whose heart is more flutter, Chris's or her own. Leslie starts talking to Aisha and she starts to yawn, saying that she's not sleeping very well. And Leslie says, well, it's don't worry about that. That's not what I'm scoffing about. I'm just surprised because this is the first time Chris has ever hugged me since moving here without me asking him to. Leslie starts saying, I'm so happy that I'm going to teach you my baked ham recipe. And Aisha is kind of taken aback, but doesn't want to be mean because she's Muslim. But in bursts Tom. Tom is Aisha's boyfriend, Chris's father, and Leslie's son. And he starts taking up for her, just going crazy. He's like, Mom, she doesn't eat ham or pork. She's Muslim. And the mom's, Leslie's, I know that. I just forgot. But Tom's like, you know she didn't forget. You're a doctor. And Leslie's trying to make up, and he storms out, and Leslie's trying to make up to Aisha for the slip. But Leslie's like, you know, that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. And she said, Leslie's like, I'm sorry. And Aisha's, no, not as sorry as Tom's gonna be. Follow Aisha outside, where her and Tom are in a heated argument. And I guess they've been living with Leslie for months. And suddenly she forgets that Aisha doesn't eat pork. And he states that moving here was a mistake. People are, you know, look down upon you because you're Muslim. But Aisha doesn't like that talk. She doesn't want racism to be a part of their relationship. Aisha's like, there's something going on, Tom. Tell me what it is. And he's like, I'll tell you when I get back from my trip. Just know that you cannot trust that woman. All while this is happening, we see Leslie from the top looking out the window, seeing what's going on. And that scene ends, and we're taken to Aisha on a park bench with her friend. We don't know her name yet. But she's saying her friend is agreeing with Tom. She doesn't trust Leslie. She's like, don't you remember when Chris was playing with your hijab? The thing Chris was putting on her head, and Leslie came over and ripped it off his head, stating that women who wear this let people get killed for drawing cartoons. They let men throw rocks at girls like you. Aisha's like, that was years ago. But her friend states that racism doesn't get cured. The best you can ask for is remission. Aisha and her friend are having words, and she says, why did I even try? Why am I trying to get a hold of my mom when I have all the cynicism from you? And her friend is surprised that she can't get a hold of her mom. She said, well, the last time we talked, even though I keep up with all my Muslim traditions, marrying a non-Muslim makes me not her daughter anymore. She's never been accepting of Aisha, even when she moved upstate and got a scholarship. She said a brown Muslim at a white college in the boonies. To her it was like enrolling into the hate crime Olympics. Wow, that's some harsh words. Religion can be really big for some people. Aisha states that they're not gonna obsess and ridicule Leslie for things that she's said. And her friend gets that, but she also leads into, don't forget what everybody in this building's been through. What have they been through? She also states, I mean, if there's any place anybody should be careful, it's there. And we pan to Aisha going up the stairs in the building, saying hello to Mr. Fields. Mr. Fields whips his head around with an exasperated glare. He walks in the door and slams it right in her face. Most of the people have moved out of this building after what happened. Most can't stand living there at a site of a mass murder. It turns out Aisha and her family are living on the top floor, the only floor with no other people living on it. While walking up to her apartment, she sees a room draped in caution tape, and she hears a sound. What was that? Whatever it was coming from behind that door. So that means it's got to be a stray cat or a rat. But it didn't sound like a stray cat or a rat. She's freaked out, so she's got to go. She goes towards the stairwell, and boom, she sees a big nasty face and feathers flying. And all of a sudden she screams, and there's Tom. What's wrong? I don't know. But to herself she's thinking she's seen feathers and she's seen a nasty face. Tom does a sigh, and Aisha says, don't start. You said you promised you'd give this place a chance. So Tom's like, you've been waking up every night since we've been here with bad dreams. You know, I don't blame you. A half a dozen people died here. You know, it creeps me out too. And Aisha quickly changes the subject, saying, like, why don't you like Leslie all of a sudden? And Tom's like, because I went through her emails. She asked her lawyer what it would take for her to be able to take custody of Chris. But there's nothing that she can do. Aisha's like, what? How long ago was that? And it's like 2 weeks after we moved in. So over a month ago? She's definitely changed since then, Aisha says. No way. Tom doesn't believe it. So Aisha's still defending Leslie, saying that, you know, Tom, you said your biggest regret is that Chris didn't know her mom. So now we're here, first time learning that Aisha is not Chris's mother. Chris's mother actually died. So Aisha's feeling sorry, and she wants Chris to at least know Leslie, because she couldn't know her mom. And Aisha's like, just trust her, you know, with every instinct in my body says that we won't regret it. So now we're in a subway. We're going to go and see what Leslie's up to. She's riding the subway. She's holding on to her purse lightly. Black man walks by and she instantly grips it and looks in his face and starts to cower like he was going to try to steal it from her. So we know Leslie's a racist, which is unfortunate for Aisha. So we're back, and it's nighttime, and Aisha is in bed just contemplating how much she loves Chris, and how when she first got with Tom, she was like, do I think that I would have been do I want to be a stepmom? And she thinks how crazy that was. And while she's contemplating this, she hears something out in the hallway. So she takes her phone, and she goes to the hallway and is looking for what it was. So while that's going on, we cut back to Tom, and he's at the grocery store buying some stuff, and he happens to run into Aisha's friend. And he's like, you know, thanks for moving into the apartment, because it's nice for Aisha to have a friend around. And he's asking her friend to watch out, you know, for Aisha and look after her while he's gone for the weekend. He's got an indie shoot to run to. And while she's like, why do I need to look out for Aisha? She's a grown adult who can take care of herself. And we pan back to Aisha going through the hallway with her cell phone, just looking for what's going on. The lights are out. She's thinking that there's a fuse blown. And then all of a sudden, figure appears in front of her in the doorway. It's this nasty looking guy. He's fully nude. He's just spouting obscenities. And she's like, wake up, I gotta wake up. I'm just asleep again. And his eyeball falls out and it lands on her cheek. How nasty is that? She goes off running and runs towards the kitchen where there's a knife block. She's gotta wake up. And it pans back to Tom and Aisha's friend talking. She's like, she doesn't need our help. Pans back to Aisha again. She's cowering in the kitchen. She can't see anything. So she reaches for a knife because she still hears stuff and stabs out. And it ends up being she stabs Leslie. Oh no. It wasn't the monster. It was Leslie. She stabbed her. But she only stabbed her through the nightgown, though. She didn't actually get her, so she drops the knife. And she starts quickly apologizing to Leslie. And now she feels even worse, because she's just tried to kill somebody for what she was thinking. And she quickly thinks up, oh, I thought it was a burglar. And Leslie's like, it's all right. And you see the knife on the ground. And in the shining reflection on the knife, you see that monster guy who just lost his eyeball on Aisha's cheek. Leslie bends to pick up the knife because she sees something in there too. She's like, what is this, Aisha? And she pulls it up, and you see Aisha crying while Leslie holds the knife, and there's the monster looking back at him. So this was a fun one. I chose to do one that I wanted to do because I am going on vacation. I won't be here Sunday, so I had to make a preemptive one. I didn't want to cut anybody short on the wheel. So we're just going to have more numbers. Feel free if you want to put some numbers on this one too. I'll find everything and put them all together, and we'll do Wednesday's regular episode, and I tried to make this one a little more fun, a little more not scripted, but a little more cuts to where I could figure out what's going on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Be good to yourselves, and this series is 5 issues long. If you want to read the rest, go buy it. It's very cheap. You can get it for $2 an issue. Issue 1 will probably cost you $4, but man, it's a good one. I wouldn't be surprised if this one gets picked up for a story. So be good to yourselves. I'll see you next time.